So we read that title correctly, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be doing horror movies that I refuse to watch. Now, these are movies that I just would never watch, no matter what anybody says, no matter what anybody recommends. I just would never touch these movies. And I thought to myself as a horror fan, I need to do a video where I just basically talk about horror movies that I just don't want to watch. No matter how much people say hype it up, no matter how much people say it was scary or really, really like a good horror movie, I just refuse to watch these certain movies. And I thought to myself, I owe you guys a video to do it. So here we are, about to do this video of me talking about horror movies I refuse to watch. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get started on this list. It's a lot of them that I don't want to watch, and the last one especially I don't want to ever get my hands on. So without further ado, let's get straight into this video. Jeepers Creepers, a movie that a lot of people tend to like. A lot of people like to watch it, and I heard it was a good franchise, I heard it was a good movie series, but I just cannot get into this movie. I just cannot get into it, not only because of stuff that happened behind the scenes with the director, but also because I saw it at a young age. When I was like 11, 10, or 12. I saw it at a very, very young age, and it traumatized me, you guys. I remember a specific scene where there was a bus scene where a bunch of kids were on the bus, as I can remember, and you just see this creature on top of the bus trying to get in, trying to get the kids, and it traumatized me, you guys, to the point where I refused to watch another Jeepers Creepers movie. Like, I vowed to myself I would never watch another Jeepers Creepers movie because of how traumatized it got me. I understand a lot of people may like this movie. I understand that it's a popular movie. I understand that this movie is very, very, very popular in the horror community. But I just honestly feel like with the stuff that I'm behind with the director, or the stuff behind the scenes with the director, and with the bus scene, I just cannot get into the movie. And I promised myself that I would never watch a Jeepers movie, and I just got to keep that promise. Candyman, let's talk about that. A movie that I also saw at a young age that really traumatized me and really messed me up completely, and made me realize that I don't want to also watch this movie as well. Now, Candyman's also a popular horror movie in the horror community, but I just cannot get my hands on it. I cannot watch it. I just can't do it. It reminds me of Bloody Mary, the myth legend of Bloody Mary. It reminds me of so many other things, and it's just very traumatizing, this movie, and I just cannot get into Candyman. Now, obviously, I'm much older now, so I could probably give Candyman a watch without actually feeling disturbed. But I just feel like the little kid in me just can't let go. He's still inside of me, and it's just telling me that I'm still afraid to watch this movie, that I don't watch this movie because of how disturbing it actually really is. And it makes me afraid to even look in the mirror. And again, that little kid is in me, so that's probably why I still refuse to watch Candyman as a horror movie, even though I heard it's a very, very popular one in the horror community, and I heard that it's actually a very, very good horror franchise. Again, that little kid is just in me, and he just won't let go, and I just cannot get to myself to watch Candyman. It's just one of those movies that I just cannot pull myself to watch. So, Terrifier, a movie that a lot of people tend to like, and a lot of people tend to love as well. I could not get into Terrifier, you guys. I tried the first one, I loved it. Tried the second one, it was okay. The third one is where I had to draw the line for this franchise. So I'm a person that does not like horror movies that involves kids getting you-know-what. I'm just not a person that enjoys that. I don't think it's cool. I don't think it's fun. I don't think it's like horror. I don't think it makes the movie scarier or cooler or better. I just feel like it makes the movie disturbing. Typically in Terrifier 3, there's just one scene where he's holding an axe, or Art Count's holding an axe, and he starts axing, and with that movie specifically, I just feel like I just cannot get into it due to all those things. I just cannot get into it. I'm not into that type of stuff. It was very disturbing when I first saw the clips of the scene, and that's when I kind of made the decision that I would no longer be watching the Terrifier movies because of how disturbing they actually are. If you're a person that just likes a lot of violence in your movie, like you may be a Jigsaw fan, you may be a Saw fan, and you may like a lot of like violence in your movies, and that's just what gets you on. But at the same time, I just feel like Terrifier is just not really that good a movie to me, in my personal opinion, due to the fact that it just kind of went too far. And I draw the line again when it comes to kids. I draw the line. Obviously, if you like this movie, that's you. That's up to you. If you enjoyed this movie, that's your choice. But for me personally, I honestly feel like this movie just it was just disturbing, and it's just weird. So the Blair Witch Project, a movie that a lot of people also enjoy. I feel like the Blair Witch Project is not really my cup of tea. I tried to get into this movie. I tried to play video games. I tried to get into it. But it's just not my cup of tea. I understand a lot of people like Blair Witch. I understand Blair Witch is a very popular found footage horror movie. But it's just not that interesting to me. And it's not because I'm afraid to watch it as I was afraid to watch the other ones like Candyman, Jeepers Creepers. But I just like this particular one, I didn't want to watch it due to the fact that it just didn't seem that interesting to me. The plot didn't seem interesting to me. And it seemed not really scary to me. Nothing really grabbed my attention to want to watch Blair Witch Project. I'm not hating on the movie. I know it's probably a lot of people's favorite like horror, found footage horror movie. And I'm a huge found footage horror fan. Like, I'm trying to get into more found footage horror movies. I'm trying to understand the genre. I'm trying to understand the concept of found footage horror movies. But I just honestly feel like Blair Witch Project is just not really my cup of tea. And that's pretty much all I want to say about this particular movie right here. So next on this we have The Ring. Now this particular movie I also saw at a young age, and I know I've seen a lot of these movies at a young age, which is probably why I'm so afraid to watch them, because I'm so traumatized by these movies because I saw it at a young age. But The Ring just didn't really also stand out to me alongside the Blair Witch Project, and it's semi found footage horror movie, another one. And The Ring just didn't really stand out to me. I understand it's like a woman or a little girl coming out of TV. You put the DVDs in, she's coming out of TV, she gives you a few days to live or something like that. But I just honestly just feel like this particular movie just really didn't catch my interest that much. I tried to watch The Ring. I even tried to research the plot and tried to get into it, but it just wasn't hitting for me. It wasn't clicking for me. And I just feel like The Ring just wasn't really also my cup of tea as well, alongside with Blair Witch Project. And maybe I'll give it a chance one day. Maybe I'll watch it one day. But I just honestly feel like The Ring is just not really that interesting to me. Megan is Missing, a movie that I also don't want to watch due to how disturbing it actually really is. I'm a very online person, you guys. I love to meet people online. I love to talk to friends online. I love to make new friends online. And when I heard about Megan is Missing, it kind of disturbed me for a person who likes to be online a lot, obviously, as you can see. This movie had one scene in particular, which was the barrel scene, where we got to see Megan, or a character in a barrel, I believe. And when I saw that, I was just done. I was out. I couldn't take it anymore. It was very disturbing, very scary, very dark. And I felt like it does send a message about the online world, or what the horrors behind the online world. But Megan is Missing just creeped me out and made me feel disturbed, and I just cannot get into it. I cannot touch it. I vowed to myself, or I made a promise to myself, that is, that I will not watch this movie no matter how many people recommend it to me, and I would just never get into it. But that is it for today's video. We actually made it to the end, and we actually made it through these movies that very disturbed me and that I would never watch. But don't forget to comment and subscribe, you guys. And for more horror videos, I'll just talk about horror. And I will see you guys on the next video. Goodbye.